Rock and roll.
Hey guys, thank you for coming back for another exciting episode of Yoml. This is the Year Magical Learning. We are on Reflection 208, and we have a brand new book as a two-part reflection, but nonetheless a brand new book. And I think this is probably one of the left field kind of book, if if I
What
together.
what'd you call it? What kind of book?
Left field.
Oh, left field. Oh, it wasn't out of left field. No, all this stuff makes sense. Just so you know, like
Okay, okay.
it always flows together. Like there is no just random books that happened over the past 3 years. Like they always. Well, I guess that's not totally true. There is probably some just like ones where I just went on like a website and picked something, but usually there's always like a reason why these books come up. Honestly, so this particular book is called the Life Changing Magic of Tidying Up: The Japanese Art of Decluttering and Organizing by Marie Kondo. Do you know who Marie Kondo is?
Yes, yeah, I think she was on Netflix for a while, and everybody's talking about it. And I don't know, it's like
Yep,
regurgitation of the masses, and
that's
sometimes you
that,
just get you can't avoid it.
that's Marie Kondo. So the reflection for this one is um I don't know if you remember, but like I'm in this stage of this journey, I'm deep into my month of decluttering. I was doing my month of Swedish death cleaning. Like this was my monthly challenge this month when I decided to read this book. So I was talking to a coworker of mine back when I was at Salesforce, and she's awesome. She lived out in New York, and we were just shooting the shit about life or whatever. And I was joking around with her. I was telling her I was doing this like monthly challenge where I was trying to like death clean every day for 20 minutes. That was my monthly challenge. And she was like, "Oh, that sounds awesome." She goes, "Have you ever heard of Marie Kondo?" And I go, "No, I've never heard of her." I was like, "Maybe I've heard, like, I feel like I've heard the name, but I don't really know what she's about." She was like, "Oh, it's like it's like this lady that was on Netflix, and she like does like she helps like hoarders like organize their house, and and I was like, "Oh yeah, I think I do know who that is," and but I've never seen the show on Netflix, and I've never read anything. And she goes, you should really check out this, because she knew I like to read, and she was like, you should really check out this book called, it wasn't this one, it was another Marie Kondo book. I don't know what it was called, but when I went to Amazon to go check it out, this was the one that everybody was like recommending as like her famous book, and I was like, well, I guess if I'm gonna read a Marie Kondo book,
They
I guess
recommend it
I'll,
because
yeah,
it's Netflix special or whatever.
right,
It's the power of the masses. It's
right,
popularity
right,
contest.
exactly. So
Everybody is just on a bandwagon. Just yeah, I'm with her. Yeah, I know her. I recommend her. Yeah, she's fun. Whatever. Because
exactly.
the thing is, something, right? Then you more likely to recommend versus the thing you don't.
Exactly. So I'm in the middle of my Swedish death cleaning monthly challenge. A friend of mine recommended this. A coworker of mine, an acquaintance, a coworker acquaintance of mine recommended this. Who's a really nice person, and so this is how this book came to be. Right, this isn't just totally out of left field. I was all about decluttering every day, and I was like, well, I might as well learn from an expert, I guess. Like if Marie Kondo is like the end all be all of decluttering, or person, then we'll see what she has to say, right? So I read this book, and it was interesting. And what I found out was I've actually been I was doing my death cleaning completely wrong, per what I learned from Marie Kondo, and here's why. So she recommends, when you're doing your any kind of tidying up, and Spark Joy, that was the other book, right here. Spark Joy was her other book. um so when she recommends, like, doing any kind of tidying up and like, massive transformational stuff, she's like, rip the band-aid off and do it all in like one big project. And she was like, do not, she was explicit in this book. She was like, do not do this, try to do this like every single day for an extended period of time. She was like, it doesn't work. She was like, it will never work. I've never seen it work. I've been doing this for years and years and years. And she was like, this is the only way that this works, is if you just completely rip the band-aid off and you go for complete transformation. And it started to make me think. And I was like, well, shit, am I doing this all wrong? I was like, I was having fun. Like Luca was helping me every night. Like, my wife even got into it. I told you about my I'll get to my results of like her cleaning my attic with me. Like I was having fun. Like I was enjoying it. I was like, I was doing this stuff as a challenge for myself because this is a part of living for two and my living my values every single day. Right. And I was having fun. I looked forward to, as soon as work was over, to be able to go open up some other random new cabinet, and Luca would come over and I'd be taking stuff out, and this is when he was still crawling around, and he's like, oh, and he's like, playing with little crap, and I thought I was having a blast. Actually, I was really enjoying it, and then I read this book and I found I'm doing it all wrong, and then I started to, like I said, I started to think about it, and I was like, well, it makes sense, when you're going for transformational change. It's almost like that atomic bomb effect, right? Like you need a massive, just push forward, right? Things need to change just instantly. Like you can't like have transformational change that drags out for a long period of time. I think it needs to be just really fast, and your paradigm's completely changed, right? And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I have to adjust my new reality, kind of thing. Like, and that's when the real work begins, right? But to do what she's talking about doing, and breaking like entire cycles of their entire life where they've come up to where they've come up to at that point in time, like, and how they got to this incredibly cluttered home. Like you need like to drop like a metaphorical atomic bomb into their life and like show them like you can live a completely different way, in this way, in this regard, it would be a good atomic bomb or something like that. Or I guess potentially a good atomic bomb. So for me, it made me start to think about like, why was this working for me the way that I was doing it? And that's the thing, is I wasn't going for transformational change. Like that wasn't what was the point of the whole entire project. Like I was going for living my values and living for two and living my purpose with my daughter. And like that, is the harder change, right? That's life. I think I wrote in here. I want to get the right word right. If you're looking for instantaneous, a big bang change, dramatic change, you need an instantaneous bang. When you're looking for lasting change, like you need daily consistent work that's got to be in alignment with what you truly value in your heart if you want it to actually be something you can sustain. So for me, it was funny because she's telling me explicitly like what I was doing should not work. And she's probably right. Like, cause there's no reason why I would want to clean my house. I actually ran out of stuff to clean. By the time that the end of the month was over, like I had like 2 days left, and I was like, I don't know what to clean. Like, I was literally going around my house trying to find shit to clean. So that was a reflection. It all kind of just makes sense, like about the instantaneous change versus lasting change. And that's about living your values every single day, and like how you can make things sustainable going forward. So yeah, love to get your thoughts.
Well, I don't. I mean, when you say that you've been doing tidying wrong all month, right? I mean, to
Right.
me, that's misleading because, like I say, if I
Oh,
tell
it was a
you,
joke. I was a joke. I mean, I
well,
wasn't. Yeah.
well, but the thing is, that's misleading because even though it's a joke, but like I said, if I tell you, hey, if you talk too much, you're doing it wrong.
Right.
That's from
No,
my perspective, right?
I know it was a joke. It was a total joke. I was making a joke in the title because it was like I wasn't doing it wrong. I was saying I was doing it right. I was doing it exactly right because I was doing it for the reasons that I wanted to do. And I was making, and it made it sustainable. I'm saying I wasn't looking for a Marie Kondo change. Like Marie Kondo change
Even if you
is
do a
dramatic.
dramatic change, it's not gonna last. I don't
I
care.
agree.
I mean, I don't believe in the fact that none of Kondo's clients have laughs. That's to me is a little bit far-fetched of a claim.
I
Okay.
totally agree.
I
It's
don't
like,
care
yeah,
if it's like 99%, right? It's
you haven't changed the
still
habits.
99%.
Right.
You the habit only comes from the things that give you satisfaction. And the only thing that gives you satisfaction is doing things that you are made to do, which is whatever you are. Like I can say, for you to say, hey, coding and sitting and looking at code all day long, right? That's wrong, right? And
Right.
the thing is, it to me, my point is that every single thing that we do,
No
it is
way.
individualized
Right.
to people. Okay, I don't care what anybody claims. Like I say, 99% of all the stuff on the internet is like kind of like half truth, and only 1% of them is truth. This is the reason why. I mean, like I said, you can find anything on the internet. You can be like how to be the best salesman ever, and
Right.
there will be hundreds of thousands, but millions of hits. But why are they paying you more than 200 grand to sell Salesforce packages why? Because why can't these people go out there and search for internet and get the answers?
I don't know.
Because it's not doesn't work. It doesn't
Right.
work, right?
Yeah.
They would rather buy the package from Salesforce and then hire another like 100, 200 grand to get some guys who knows what they're doing to implement them.
Right.
I mean, am I right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah.
Right.
You're right.
But
Yeah.
they're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to get you guys to implement the package they bought from you guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah.
And so why are these companies spending hundreds of thousands of dollars? When I'm telling you that you can search internet and you can find everything you need, but it's all scattered all over the place because some of them claim are true and some of them are not. So most of the stuff on the internet is not believable. So I don't care what it's claiming.
Well, it is believable. It's just that it's not it's.
But to me, like if I say I can claim you 100% uptime on my like the hosting, right? Why can't they claim 100% uptime? Because that's not mathematically possible. Therefore, they only say I'm going to only warranty you 99.99% of uptime. All the hosting says that. They never say, even though they have like redundancy servers and redundancy network and drives and everything, they can only warranty up to 99.99%. Why is that? Because that's mathematically impossible. So when you say somebody who isn't, none of them are lab, to me, it's a little bit far-fetched of a claim. So, for me, it's individualized to say, well, whether or not something is right or something is wrong. If you think it's wrong, it's wrong. You think it's right, it's right.
No, that's fair. I mean, I don't think that Marie Kondo has like a foolproof system here. I do think that it's I mean, I can imagine going from.
Let me ask you this then.
Yeah.
Right, you tried the Marie Kondo method, right?
No, I didn't.
You didn't? Okay.
No, that's what I'm saying. I was doing it wrong. I didn't do her method. I was doing my own method. Is my point.
So how do you know it's wrong if you didn't do her method?
I didn't say it's wrong. I mean, I said that like she said to me, like in her book, what I was doing was what she recommended exactly against. Like what I'm saying, like you understand the context of what I'm talking about here. Of I was like,
you're being facetious.
No, I'm being literal. I was 20 days into my decluttering around my house, and as I was listening to this book, like I was learning what the expert told me was the wrong way to declutter my home. She was like, you shouldn't do it this way, and that was exactly the way that I was doing it. And I was like, I'm having fun doing it this way, like because like I wasn't doing it for dramatic instantaneous change. I was doing it to challenge myself, to live my values with my daughter, with my family, to do stuff that was just play and fun. It was living my values. That was why I was doing what I was doing. I wasn't doing it for dramatic, like transformational change. I was just having fun, like decluttering my home with my family. So I'm saying what I was doing in her world would never be sustainable because the world that she walks into.
But that's her world. She's right in her world.
Yes.
Right. In your world, you're right. So that's what I'm saying is, I think it's misleading because even though you're trying to be sneaky by saying the opposite of what you meant, but you don't give the audience the clues. That's what I'm saying I know you did, but people is gonna look at your reflection and say, what? And then they have to read through all your reflections and say, he's just being.
I was joking around. I'm saying like my plan was literally the exact opposite of what she would recommend, and I found a lot of fun and joy out of it, and it worked. So like my point was, the end point of all this is, if you want instantaneous dramatic change, you need an instantaneous, complete bang, right? And like paradigm shift, like like instantaneous. Like it needs to be something that's so dramatic that it shocks your system, right? Where you're like, oh my god, like how did this happen? Like I can't believe that my house looked like this before, now my house looks like this after. I have a chance to maybe make this sustainable going forward. For me, it was I wasn't looking for some dramatic change. I didn't need to. My home isn't dirty. I
I
just had
think you should being fancy, okay? I think you should say dramatic. You want a dramatic change. Start with an instantaneous bang. Lasting
right.
change is a data consistent work, right?
Yeah.
Put that as your reflection.
That was my reflection. I just made the title funny.
That's what I'm saying.
You can't get past the non-literal title. Is this the first time that I've done a funny title? Like, I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe it is. I don't know.
Maybe it is, but like I said, for me is I'm too technical in a way when you say, this is the lesson I've learned. Turns out I've been doing it all wrong. Like I mean, people are gonna take you seriously.
Not if they read it, they won't. They'll see what I was meaning by saying. Oh,
well, that's
okay.
That's a key word right there. If
they,
I mean,
that's fair.
The thing is, if you don't post this anywhere, you don't have to worry. But if you post it, you have to be responsible.
I know. Yeah. I'm okay with this. I also am a playful, fun person. So like I mean, some of these reflections are playful and fun. So they're supposed to be fun. Like that's another part of my values. Is play. And that's what part of our clubbing values is to play around. And so it was a joke. Apparently apparently not a good one, I guess. But anyway, like the point. Do you get the point I'm trying to make though? Like.
I do. I'm just saying it's technically there's so many different different there's a lot of things that because it made to be a joke, right? It doesn't make sense.
Well, I mean, to be fair, a month of Swedish death cleaning didn't make a whole lot of sense either. Like this is the rabbit hole that the year of magical learning takes me down. I'm cleaning my home and I'm trying to learn from a cleaning expert, like what it means to declutter shit. And to be fair, she had some good tips on like, decluttering, like how to organize some shit together. And I took some of the tips from what she was saying.
To me, I don't judge anyone's work, right?
Right.
The only thing I judge is like, what are you telling me? If you're telling me, then you need to back it up. If you're telling me that this, whatever it is, like I told you about, like, let my people go surfing. That's not, I don't hate on the book because of the thing that they done, right?
Right.
I just don't like the claim.
Right.
The claim basically tells me that, you're basically trying to lie to me.
I'm not. Are you talking to me?
No, I'm talking about the books in general. So I don't judge whatever it is, right? To me, I respect you because it is your world. That's fine, right? This is what go back to what I'm going to say before is you and me, love philosophy, okay? But we hate philosophers, and this is the core reason why is. Whatever you do is great because everything has a value in its context. Right? Everything has context. The context makes it valuable. Beyond that, it doesn't mean anything, right? For whatever it is, you value certain thing. You value a picture of your daughter, right? Because of context, because it's your daughter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
For somebody in the half, way around the world that is living in a village, if they look at the picture of your daughter, they have no idea what it is. They probably had no value to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No context means nothing. So for me, when I say, everybody has their own context, no one's right, no one's wrong, because you're right in your own context.
Yeah.
The thing is, any books or any influencer, once you have the power you have the responsibility, right? Because
Yeah.
if you using it for wrong, then you're abusing your gift. People trust you, give you the trust, and you abuse them. So a lot of people, like, like I said, whatever it is, I don't know why, but that's my pet peeve. Like, when somebody need to claim something, then it needs to be truth in it. If you claim something that, hey, I just claim it because whatever. A lot of time people can see through your.
Are you talking about Marie Kondo?
I'm talking about anyone,
Yeah.
but
But I
like I
mean,
said,
and I mean, I guess, are you? I mean, referring to you know?
well, I didn't read her book, so I can't say anything. But from what I hear you're saying that um she was adamant about the little by little consistent approach will never work if you
Yeah,
want to see a lasting change. To me, that sentence is completely I disagree with.
I agree with you. I mean, clearly, like, I mean,
I mean,
I did it.
I am taking from your context.
Yeah. No, I
Maybe
mean,
I'm wrong, but from what I know today, you said in right there, I'm reading it. Marie is adamant
yeah.
that the little by little consistent approach will never work
She said
if
she's
you
never seen it.
want to see lasting change. So based on that, I'm judging her.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
I'm judging her that she is
she,
wrong
she,
because
she,
it's not in the right context. Maybe it works for her. I'm not gonna deny that it works for her,
well,
but I will
her
deny that it's gonna
paradigm.
work for me and maybe not work for you. I
Well,
know for a fact that it's not gonna work for me.
I agree. But her paradigm of what she sees of her clients are people that are purposeless, and a mess. Like, I mean, she walks into a total shit show. Like, I mean, I understand where she's coming from. I can understand where that would be her paradigm, where she's like, these people have no direction. They don't have habits. They don't have values, probably,
Yes,
that
you do
they
have
understand.
habits.
Well, sorry, they have habits. They probably clearly don't have clear.
I mean,
I'm
the people
speculating, but
that
like,
she gonna help with decluttering, eventually it's gonna clutter again. That's just the way it is. Without the mental mindset,
right.
you will be exactly what you you think inside.
I mean, it's like a drug addict or something like that. Like, if you're
So
doing
a
heroin,
drug, and you're gonna come
and you,
back to it.
you're right. That's, I mean, like, I don't understand how she can claim a zero recidivism rate. Like, I mean, that
So
that actually was,
to me, based on what I know about her through you, I disagree. Right? You see
yeah,
that? So I don't
I know, I agree
disagree
with
with
you.
you. I'm just disagree with a lot of the thing that you said she claimed. And to me, that kind of get me off the edge there because apparently
It makes for great TV.
to
Like,
me, the thing is,
apparently,
to me, she in the way that I see it, she is a influencer of sort. I mean, when she says something, people are gonna pay attention, and she's using her power to push all these messages, and it's not it's not correct for most people. Maybe correct for some, but not for most people. And for her to
right.
say, you know, it will never work for anyone, and all of my clients are the same, blah blah blah, that to me, it's dangerous. Because the thing is, I'm telling you that, you know,
Well, she would.
let,
To be
let
fair,
me ask, let me ask you,
she
let me
wouldn't.
ask you this question:
I wouldn't hire Marie Kondo to.
Who crucified Jesus Christ?
Uh, I mean, you want the guy that sentenced him, or, like, I mean, I don't
No,
know. I don't know
no,
who.
who crucified Jesus Christ?
I mean, Pontius Pilate. I mean,
No, no. Petrified say, do you want me to release this thief, or you to release this so-called king
I
of the
mean,
Jews?
are you saying the people?
The people,
Right.
the Jews, the people, the chosen people, the Jews crucified Jesus Christ. Why is that? It's because somebody in power say that this person is bad,
Sure.
regardless of whether or not there is evidence. What evidence that can charge Jesus Christ of doing all the things to, overtake kingdoms or whatever, right? What evidence? Did somebody's in high power say some fucking shit to get this man crucified? And when somebody has the influential, like Marie Kondo or somebody celebrity, you be careful and be responsible for what you say. If you don't, I mean,
Well,
to me,
hang
that's
on, hang on, real fast. Like, I mean, I don't want to. I've never seen her show. Like I've said, I don't know anything
But
about
you read
Marie
the
Kondo.
book.
Other,
Who
but
wrote the
I
book?
did read a book. But I also have to say, like in her defense, I'm not her client. Like I would never hire her because my house doesn't need to be decluttered. Like even though there were certain areas of my home that I clearly, wanted to do some decluttering just for my own self. Like I mean, but it
But
wasn't
I'm
like my
telling
home
you
was
that a
a shit
thousand,
show.
hundred
Like
thousand of people is going to try to not to do the little by little consistent approach because
I mean,
she have said that it never worked. Therefore, they're going to do exactly what she told. Not let's say
maybe, yeah.
7% of the people who watch tries to believe in her concept. This is the reason why Hitler is able to kill 6 million Jews because people sometimes they take contact stuff out of context, right? And
Sure.
especially the people, and especially now today, I am warning you. I'm warning all the viewers. You need to do your own research. Figure out whether or not what we say is truthful. Do
Oh
your
yeah.
own research and find the claim for yourself. Same
Yeah,
thing for
for sure.
everybody else. I am not telling you to do anything. I'm telling you to say, go and do your research on yourself. I am giving you a little hint. Say, hey, look over there. I'm not telling you this little shiny bar that has this size and this whatever. It has this word written on it. Go find it. This is the pass. This is the key. This is key has this notch, that notch, whatever. I cannot give you that because this is my key. This is what I'm saying
Right.
I have for you. I'm telling you it has to be individually for you. I'm not going to tell you that hey, do this is going to work because, like for example, I'm a meat eater, right? Because
Right.
my body doesn't like plant. So when I have a massive transformation when I quit eating plant, right?
That's true. That's true. You
And
changed.
and and I am completely like almost cure my diabetes. I don't take my more medication. My blood sugars used to be in 300, even with medications. Now I don't. I'm eating meat only, right? But my sugar is like in the 100, right? In a low 100, meaning that I'm like barely diabetic without
Right.
taking medication. So within 3 months, I was able to do that after 20 plus years of suffering of diabetes. So for me, that transformation should have given me the ability to go out and say, hey, you guys need to stop eating plants.
That's
Okay?
true.
Because
That's
to
true. That's a good
me,
point.
that's fucking BS. Because for
Yeah.
me, that's me. For you, if your body needs plant, then eat the damn plant. Don't eat the meat like
Right.
me. Even though it's a damn transformation for me in 3 months in just stop eating plant. But the thing is, I'm telling you that for you, your body's different. I'm not
That's
going to tell
that's
you
true.
not to stop eating plant and go eat meat, right? It may kill you.
Yeah. You make a really good point. I mean,
So
it
so
is
if that transformation doesn't come out, doesn't make me come out and like proclaim to the world, right? Plant is toxic because
right.
it's toxic to me, but I can't say that for you. I can't say that for other people.
Right.
And that's my point is you can say, well, it works for me, doesn't mean it works for you. So when you have the influence and the power, right? Your power could shift and change the world for good, for bad, because you can, kill
Yeah.
people like Jesus Christ, or you can kill like 6 million Jews
Yeah.
because of
I,
your word alone.
I mean, I don't. I get the extremity of your examples. Obviously, I don't know that Marie Kondo and her tidying is necessarily on the same level, but I get where you're coming from with
But I
that.
think it derails what I'm telling people.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah. No, I
when
hear you.
you
Yeah,
want something to change, right? It has to be changed organically. That means you have to change from the inside, the
I
mindset.
I,
If you
I
don't
agree.
believe something is valuable to you, whether you like it for the first time, eventually you're gonna revert back to it. You look at all the drug addicts, right? The thing is, these guys cannot help themselves. I mean,
Right.
I can't even blame them because for me, is I don't know if I can do what I say I would do. If I was on a drug addiction, I don't even know that I'm even, I probably get been worse than most of these guys out there that people talk about because I mean this is the called addiction. It's a force that you really, it's very hard to control. It's a very hard to kick, right?
I mean,
And
your
so
life
I'm
is
saying
your
if
life
your
is made up of
habit
your
is,
habits. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so your habit is to do a bunch of things, right? Whether or not, so the thing is, you are delusional if you think that to change like this, it's gonna keep it going, and you're gonna be disappointed, and you're gonna be in a worse place than you were before, and you may be in a depression state. And so I'm warning you so that you don't get yourself stuck in that rut by listening to some, I don't know, quack. I don't know if she is a quack. I'm just saying that
Right,
you read the book. I may be wrong, and I'm sorry if I'm wrong, because based on what you say, right? It's
right.
not fair to say she is. I'm just saying based on what I know from what you say. Maybe somebody else wrote a book for her. She may not be that person. But regardless, you have to be cautious of the things you see, and whatever people, I mean, like you go on TikToks, right? I mean, people know
Yeah,
this. You go on TikTok and people will show you tricks on how to do certain things, right? There's like hundreds of them out there. There's like 20 of them who work, and then there's 8 of them just plain lie. You know what I
right,
mean? Because people just want to get views, and they want to do anything, and they will actually fake something. Even like there are some great like people who do trick shots and whatever. There's some people who are really good at it,
right,
right? But that's like 1 in 100. So 99% of them just basically fake the video to do the trick shot or whatever. So
right.
that's what I'm saying is there is 99% fake and 1% truth. You have to find out which is which, because if you follow the wrong one, it could be bad for you. It could impact you negatively, and it could
Right.
put you on a spiral downward.
You made me think of the did you ever watch The Biggest Loser? You know what I'm talking about?
I don't watch it, but I know what it is. People trying
All
to
right.
lose weight, right?
So, uh, the result is that on average, participants regained 70% of the weight that they'd lost, although they did keep off 30% of it. Like that's to your point. Like, if have you ever seen the show? Do you know? Have you ever
I know
watched it
we're talking
before?
about people.
Yeah,
People don't lose weight, right? You have like a very heavy weight. People trying to lose weight
they're like
doing.
extremely obese people. I mean, they weigh 450 pounds or something like that, and then by the end of the show, I forget how long the show is, maybe like 10 weeks or something like that. I can't remember, but by the end of the show, they're like 200 pounds or something like that.
Yeah,
You've
it's very
lost
dramatic change.
it's and but to going back to your point of the habits are what really always matter, the inputs. Yes, they did change their habits during that transformational change, and yes, they did shock their systems, and yes, they did see what life could look like, and they liked what they saw. But like a lot of
But
them,
they can't help it. I think
right? Yeah,
it's not that they don't want it, right? Because people want it. It's just that, like, you have to understand that a lot of time, like, for
it's what comes after the transformation is what matters like most. Like, I mean, it doesn't even matter. The transformation is important, but like what you do after that is over is way more important than the transformation,
but
in my
I'm
opinion.
telling you that people are more depressed after they lose the weight, because what they are after they lose the weight, they are very, very conscious that they're gonna go back to where they were before, right? And they are very, very depressed,
Well,
right?
they're in an unnatural environment. They're at a place where
It's
they're
not
not
who they are, right?
right.
So the thing is, when you want to change, right? You change the habit, right?
Right.
And to me, that's wrong, right? Because habits require what? It require willpower to get there, and willpower only goes so far. So habits will
Value
always.
driven habits like don't. I mean, but yeah,
So the thing is, habit is part of it,
right.
right? I mean, you need to change the habit, but how can I keep the habit?
It's got to be a value driven habit is what I
So
said. Yeah.
so you have to go back to the one before that, and step before that is, do you believe in it? Do you know it? And then that's go to another step before that. The values give you the understanding, the mindset that creates a habit. That create the habit creates the results.
Right.
this is the steps that I take, right? You look at me. I told you that I told you that because my family for generations have been drinking coffee. We have a coffee plantation. I drink 8 cup of unfiltered coffee a day, and I can go to sleep like 15 minutes, right? I've
Right.
been drinking it for what, 30 plus years, probably more than 30 years, right? Since, when I was able to drink, which is like 10 years old. Because my family drinks coffee. I made coffee for my dad when I was like 5 years old. So I am pretty much like indulge coffee for so long my genes knows it, and it's like coffee, like a little bit of coffee that they call it Vietnamese coffee. I mean, anybody who drink Vietnamese coffee would know what I'm talking about. The Vietnamese coffee, they will keep you up for 3 days if you haven't drink coffee at all. I'm seriously.
Yeah.
But I can drink these coffee like 3 or 4 cups in a day and has no effect on me. This
Right.
is how much I'm addicted to coffee. Okay, in my 30, in the 20, late 20 and 30, I tried to quit coffee. I went into withdrawal, like a drug addict went into withdrawal. I cannot function at all. Okay, I cannot do it, and I did that for like a month. I quit coffee for a month. It was the most miserable time of my life. It's like, I mean, I miss it. I want it. I can't function without it. I'm lost, right? I can't. I mean, I'm basically a zombie if I don't have the coffee. And I've done that for 3 months. It was miserable, and I was depressed, whatever. So basically, I did for a month, and I quit coffee for a month, and then I came back to it, and I drink again. I drink again and again. But the moment I read the book Why We Sleep, and in that book Why We Sleep, right, they talk about the caffeine and the effects on the caffeine. Then my understanding turns on. That understanding decides, hey, if it's not good for me, man, I could quit. Then I quit. I quit cold turkey, and I didn't have any kind of withdrawal, any kind of depressions. And I have done that since the moment I told you
Yeah.
2.5 years ago,
Yep.
right? I've never touched coffee. I've never touched coffee again, right? And I would have drink coffee if it was from the caffeine. So the fact it coffee has caffeine, I decided to give it up, and I've given up. I have no problem with it. And I think that is the best way to say, once you understand the concept,
Right.
right, right, then the habit comes into, and the habit's easy to keep. And once you keep the habit, then the result comes.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
but what's to me, I want to, kind of like point out the most important part is the core values in front of the
Right.
understanding, because the core value makes my understand what's valuable to me. I value health because I have bad health, right? So I want good health. So when I read the book, I saw the understanding of this value because of my core value of having health, that
Right.
able to keep my habits, and my habits able to give me this ability to not be subject to all the different symptoms and like characteristics of being an addict, withdrawal from this and that and all that. And so that's what I'm saying is the habits is not going to last unless you have the core value
Yeah.
followed by the understanding of it, and then followed by the habits, right? Because you think about why, I thought I knew that coffee wasn't good, but I did not believe in it because some people say coffee is bad, some people say coffee is good. So I tried it to quit coffee in my
Right.
late 20, right? It didn't work because I didn't really understand it.
Right. Yeah. No, I'm 100.
So that's what I'm
That
saying is
that
when
was
somebody's focused on a simple little piece of step, but then they forgot the rest of the other step, the one before that and one after that, then it's partial truth.
we get enamored by the transformation as humans. Like The Biggest Loser is an addictive show to watch. Like, I mean, I used to religiously watch The Biggest Loser, and I'm not like fat or like overweight or never been obese, like, but watching the people's lives change in front of your eyes, like, I mean, it was something special. But then the cameras turn off and
But no
everyone
one
goes
got
home.
better. I mean,
Right. Right.
because
Yeah.
I think most of them will either, because they get to the point where they have like 400 pounds or 300 pounds, and they go to like 150, right? So even the best of these contestants, the best of them will go from 150 to 200 and maybe stay there, but they never go to 150 and then go down to like 140 and be ripped and stay ripped all their life.
Well,
No
I don't
one
know if
does that.
maybe there's a few people. I don't want
No,
to say
they.
like
I
no
don't
one's
think
ever
they.
done
I
it,
don't
but
think
yeah,
there's any of them. They want the majority. I think, right. The majority of them will go back to where they are, or 70% of it. Some of them maybe go back to like maybe 20% or 30%, but majority of them go back to like 70 to 80% of the weight they had before they came to the show. And sometimes they go back and forth because it's. And then I think from the perspective, from their perspective, right, it's worse because they are always in fear
right. They've seen
of
the other
gaining
way,
the weight back,
right?
right? And so they're not happy even before they have. I mean, they have this weight problem, but they're not worried, right? They because when you have something, right, when you lose, when you give it back, right, your sense of the sense of loss is greater than the
Yeah.
sense of gain. And so to
It's
your mental state,
it's embarrassing. You feel ashamed. Like you feel like
mentally
yeah,
it's weighing them down. That's what I'm saying. They
right.
may even get depressed because of that. And the change isn't.
You're
I
right.
mean,
It's all willpower driven. I mean, everything they did was willpower driven. And then for these people, I agree with you. I mean, like to be fair, like that was what my reflection was about. Like this wasn't about me trying to do some transformational change. This is about me living my values every day with my daughter, which is why I was able to do what I was able to do pretty easily. I mean, and I actually had a lot of fun. So that was the point of this reflection in general, was to say like it doesn't have to be dramatic if you want consistent, lasting change. It's daily activities that are reflecting your values
well, the
exactly
whole
like you said,
truth, but nothing but the truth. But that's
right?
that's why we want to kind of put out the warning label, because people give you bits and pieces of everything, right? Like I told you, if someone want to do a sales process or a customer journey, they can just Google something and they get a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah,
But the thing is, it doesn't work because not everything's put together in the right place in the proper
yeah,
configurations.
you can learn anything. I mean, hell, I could learn how to code just by
Exactly.
googling
You can cover.
whatever,
It's going to take you
but
20
I don't know.
years, probably
Yeah, but I don't know how
longer,
to fucking like
because there's
I
so many out there, and most of them doesn't work just because you just mash them together.
right. I was telling one of my employees this today. He was like, he was struggling with like a like sales prospecting in general. It's an art form. Like how certain people get certain people to engage in a message or get them to spark a conversation. Like that's something that truly is an art form. Like I can tell you all the tools to use. I was telling him this today. I was like, I can tell you all the tools to use. I can even tell you the words to use. I can tell you the right motion, how to do it and put it into this order. But that is never going to be a guarantee. You have to put your own little secret sauce into it to make it happen. I was like, I can't just walk up to Novak Djokovic and say, show me how to hit a forehand. He'll go, sure, I can show you how to hit a forehand, but like, you're not gonna be able to hit it like me. Like, I mean, like you're like, yeah, it'll be a long fucking time before you can hit a forehand like me. You know what I mean? And even if I give you all the little subtle nuances of there's just no substitute for doing it and figuring it out and having to create the art that is whatever you're bringing into this world, right? Like, I mean, it's just there's just no you can't replace that. I mean, it's like I don't care who you're talking to. Like no one will be able to tell you that. Like you have to figure that out for yourself. And if you don't want to, I mean, then that's up to you. I mean, that's but that's like the a beaver must dam. I mean, we didn't say that this entire episode, but like got to drop it in there. Like if I know it's got to sneak one of those in there. But like a beaver making a dam is an art. Like I mean, if you ask me to go make a dam, he'll be like, well, just take the wood and put it in the water. And I'll go,
it's easy.
yeah, but
and then you go out to put a wood, and then they float.
I'd be like,
but you told me to put
no, you take that piece of wood and then that piece of wood and then you put that one on top of that one, and I'm like, yeah, I'm doing that, asshole. Like like, oh my god, my monthly challenge starting in tomorrow is gonna be crocheting. And
oh really?
yeah. So I'm gonna try to crochet for 15 minutes a day. And I've tried it one time before and it was so hard but like I was watching this one of my employees, her name's Chelsea, is like a crocheting expert, and she was trying to teach us all for like a project that we were doing, to like make hats for the homeless, at an event we were getting together for. And I promise you, I spent an hour watching her go, Chris, this is really easy. Like just
It's
just
like
do this, and this.
It's like,
And I'm like, I'm literally going, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I was like, I'm like, this is, I mean, this was back in November, and it's, and this piece of yarn is the ball of yarn she gave me sits right over there in front of my vision all day long. And I was asking my team today, like, what should I do for my monthly challenge next month, and they were like, she just yelled out, you should crochet. And I was like, all right, I'm in, I'll do it. So we'll see how this goes. But the whole point of this conversation is, like, there's an art to crocheting. Like, I can watch it. I'm gonna have to watch every YouTube fucking video, but eventually it'll click. One day I'll just go, oh.
But that's what I'm saying is, the fact of the instantaneous transformation not gonna happen with crochet.
No,
it won't. You're gonna make so many mistakes.
Like I
told you, I'm telling you, go find me a little baby that just gets up and walk, right? Without crawling, without doing anything. Just get up and walk. Show me that baby, and maybe I would consider my position. But I have never seen a baby that walks without falling for like 100 times before it can walk.
It takes a long time to figure it out. Like, I mean,
but that's the thing, is there's no such thing as traumatic transformation, right? Because
that's lasting. Like, you can't just snap
your fingers. It doesn't.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, honestly, this is, it goes back to like the whole atomic bomb, concept, right? Like, like that happens to a lot of people all the time. You said this yesterday. Like, not everybody turns that into something, like,
no,
and I'm not,
majority of them don't. That's the sad fact.
Right. I mean, like, this is exactly what we're talking about with The Biggest Loser with Marie Kondo. Like, I mean, you're right. Like, I mean, it has to be followed up by purpose, and every day, otherwise, like, change won't, the new paradigms you see in life will leave, yeah, you might have seen a different life, but that doesn't mean that is your life.
It's not sustainable. So go back to the key word is sustainable, right?
Right.
So our top most core values of company is balance, right? Balance is the essence of all the core value in a sustainable cycle.
Yeah.
Okay. So without sustainability, it means nothing, because there's no point in doing something when it doesn't sustainable. We're talking about the frog. We're eating a frog until you you say, hey, I get the top now, I'll stop. Then you run into the stagnation period, because you don't want to eat the frog, because you got what you wanted by eating the frog. Then when you got it, you stop. Obviously, you're not going to continue. Then someone's going to overtake you. That's the stagnation cycles. And so when you have something that is traumatic, it's not going to last. So most people,
it could last. It's not
right. But this is what I'm talking about. Like, for you, right? You have an atomic bomb, and you chose the right direction, and it gives you more purpose.
I don't know if it's the right direction. It was a direction. I mean, that was
okay.
The direction.
It's a direction, but at least it gets you out and alleviate some of your pain.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people, the majority of the people, they get into depression, they get into the worst situation, they go into drugs, go into drinking, go into
hoarding, overeating,
whatever. But they have turned to other avenue to deal with it. And so that's what I'm saying is, you say, like, let's say somebody won a lottery, right? Like, I would say 99% of them will lose it and be worse than before, because they have
it's called the lottery curse. I mean, that's a real thing. I mean,
but the thing is, there's 1% that is smart enough to say, well, I have this atomic bomb, this new instantaneous change, right? If I put it in the right place, then there are some lottery winners that actually made it into something for themselves, and then most of them,
70% of them go bankrupt within a few years after winning the lottery.
I'm talking about within a few years. I'm talking about for the long run.
Oh yeah, no,
99% of them completely wiped out.
Right.
That's one thing, is when a time bomb happens, right? It's to me, you look at 99% versus 1%. The probability of you being in 1% is 1%. The probability of you in the 99% is 99%. So more likely than not, right? The dramatic events will harm you.
Yeah, the more that I think about it, there's zero chance in hell that Maria Kondo has a 0% recidivism rate of her clients. Like there's no way. That's not possible, right?
I'm just speaking from a mathematically perspective, right? It's
I'm
not possible. It's
I
impossible to have 100% unless it's just one client.
right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's weird. Anyway, all right, we gotta cut this one off for the night because we're way over time. I gotta go to bed. So but that was fun. That was an interesting one. We got a part 2 tomorrow on the life changing magic of tidying up. So look forward to talk about that one too, because it did spark some thoughts in my head. So that's a good thing. I learned from this book. That's the point, right? All right. So the question we can leave with everyone is, what do you need at this time in your life? A dramatic paradigm shift or daily consistent action in alignment with your values? So that's
It's the values. Values
yeah,
is the
yeah,
one, and it has
yeah.
nothing to do with like daily actions or anything. It's values, because once you have values, it drives daily. You want to, just like like you play tennis. Like, hey, you just forget it. People are gonna call you up, say, hey, Chris, go play tennis, right? The universe will conspire to get you to play tennis
Yeah.
if tennis is what you love. You're not gonna reject it. But when people invite you, you say, yeah, I'll go, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying is, I don't really care, right? The ladder steps. Look at the beginning. The beginning will actually make a waterfall. It will continue to trickle down, because once you find the core values, that thing you love to do, right? You want to do more. So it's gonna be daily. It's gonna be like hourly. If it's it's something practical, you can do
Right.
that hourly. You can do like even second, like breathing. Like I told you, stop breathing for a minute and see how you feel.
Well, so it goes. If you got to be addicted to something, be addicted to something that you really care about. That takes your life in an upward spiral versus a downward spiral. And that's kind of the key to all this, right? Is we're all addicted to something. You might as well be addicted to something that's what you really care about at your core. So awesome. All right, that was fun as always, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll do part 2 of 2 tomorrow.